Associated Rediffusion presents Daniel Farson, who each week meets and talks about...
You might well ask, who was Daniel Farson? I was. 30 years ago, I was one of the first investigative reporters for ITV, and I had the great good luck of being in at the beginning when everything was new.
Is it wrong to be out of step? Dan Farson goes out to challenge people who hold odd views about life. Are these people just cranks, or are they one step ahead of us?
And now, to meet the witch, Dr. Gerald Gardner, who lives in a ruined mill among a collection of eerie relics of witchcraft. Surely one reason for the secrecy today is because Covens are an excuse for sexual orgies.
Oh, that's nonsense. You see, they've got a very good religion of their own, and they work a little magic if they want to. But of course, most of it is just they have a little dinner and a dance.
Well, what do you dress in when you dance?
The traditional witch's costume.
Which is what?
The skin.
In the nude?
The nude, yes, exactly.
Dr. Davis, why are you against nudism?
I should think I'm against nudism because it's rather an abnormal thing.
Well, do you think then, as a cult, it is at all harmful?
I don't think it's harmful at all if it's kept under proper control and if it's done for the right reasons.
But you're suggesting that some of it's not done for the right reasons. That there's this abnormal atmosphere about it.
I don't think it's wrong in any way, but unusual, and it could very easily lead to irregularity and perhaps misunderstanding.
Well, what sort of irregularity?
Well, it would attract the attention of peeping toms and people who are interested perhaps for the wrong reasons.
But surely that's the fault of the peeping toms and not the nudists.
But isn't there some reason why people who are interested in nudism are themselves odd in their ideas?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. I thought you believed that.
Yes, I do.
I was allowed a glorious range in my programs. As a contrast to Out of Step, which dealt with eccentrics, I followed with Keeping in Step, which showed that the establishment could be just as dotty.
What is the biggest change as a doctor that you've noticed in the country in the last 20 years?
Lack of faith by the patient in his doctor.
Do you find that your relationship is as friendly as it used to be?
It is definitely not as friendly.
Can you instance some of the differences?
In the old days, 20 years ago, we were welcomed, asked to stay tea. We'd been to a confinement, we were invited to the christening party afterwards. Patients would come in and even curtsy.
What about that is the most serious charge that is levelled against public schools, that they produce snobs, that they're the privilege of an exclusive class, that they perpetuate all that is worst in the class system?
The public schools are part of the whole social setup in this country. And if there is class snobbery in this country, it's due to the setup as a whole, and not to the public schools or any other schools in particular. If you think it is, then I think you've got the whole relationship between education and society wrong.
But I do think that many people feel that if a stupid public school boy and a brilliant grammar school boy went for the same job, the public school the privilege is so strong that it would be the public school boy with his upper-class accent who would get the job.
Yes, I know a lot of people think that, and it's a difficult one to answer. I just don't think it's true.
I don't believe that as a country we're tourist-minded at all. In fact, I think most of us regard tourists as a nuisance. And I blame these advertisements for giving a completely false picture of England. One in particular, which deals with English cooking. This claims, now you can eat like a king in Britain. Delectable oysters, magnificent wildfowl, and opulent desserts await you in Britain's inns today. Now, is this really your experience? I found that my meals, particularly outside London, usually start off not with delectable oysters, but with brown Windsor soup. Magnificent wildfowl would almost certainly be off, and instead there'll be cut off the joint, slice of cabbage and boiled potatoes looking at one reproachfully with their dark brown eyes from a pool of water.